Yo, what's up, YouTube? Alright, it's a response video to Fairshakeboxing's when being a Pactard. Just want to tell you guys right off the bat, man. I'm not trying to make this video to sound like I'm a tough guy or, you know, like I'm Superman and I can fuck anybody up and shit like that. I'm not. That's not the point that I'm trying to get across here. It just so happened that Fairshake mentioned in one of his videos that he had got into a confrontation with a Pactard after the Timothy Bradley fight. You know, something similar happened to me with the Marquez fight when Marquez fought Pacquiao and got jobbed. So you know, he shared his story. I feel like I want to share my little story. You know, and that's pretty much it, man. I don't normally condone violence. I'm not a violent person. I don't dislike enough people in my life to where I feel like I need to get violent. You know, any violence that took place in my life that happened years and years ago, and them days, you know, them days for me are done, man. I'm not really with the whole violent shit, and especially over some boxing bullshit. But what I will tell you, and what I agree completely with Fairshakeboxing is that Manny Pacquiao fans, not a specific race of people. Usually, you know, fuck that. I'm gonna keep it real. Usually, it's the Filipino Manny Pacquiao fans are very, very passionate about their fighter and very passionate about how they, you know, you can't say nothing wrong about him in front of them. And if you do, and if there's maybe some drinking involved, you know, these dudes tend to get a little bit out of fucking pocket. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. Alright, so you know, it's like 2 or 3 weeks after the Marquez Pacquiao fight, and you know what I mean, I'm at a bar with a friend of mine, like two friends of mine. So, you know, a couple Asian kids walk in. I don't know if they're Filipino or not, but a couple Asian kids walk in, 2 or 3 of them, and there's like they might have been with like one white boy or something like that. They walk in. Now, when they walk in, I'm arguing. This is a local bar, you know what I'm saying? So I've never seen these people in my life, and I'm real cool with the owner and everything like that. So I'm arguing with a friend of mine about Andrew Luck. We were arguing about Andrew Luck. The point of my argument was, you know, my boy, he's the kind of person that he watches ESPN, and he fucking, if he sees something that somebody says on ESPN, you know, he just runs with that shit, you know. So he's telling me that Andrew Luck is going to be the best quarterback in the history of fucking football, and you know, all types of shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just basically, the only point that I'm trying to drive home to him is that's not how it always works. You know, that he could possibly be a bust. I'm not saying that he will be a bust, but it's possible that he could come into the league and bust, because it's happened before with Ryan Leaf and other guys that have went #1 and were real hyped up, and they turned out to flop. So we start going back and forth, and I'm not really getting nowhere with this cat, because aside on top of the fact that a lot of times he don't know what the fuck he's talking about, he'll also defend his point to the fucking death. So you can't really, you know. So we're going back and forth. So finally he busts out and says, "This is coming from a Mayweather fan." This is my friend, right? So now these kids are across the bar, and the way me and him were arguing, I mean, we were really, you know, getting loud. They must have thought that me and him were not friends. You know what I'm saying? And the kid sitting in the middle, who's another friend of mine, he just didn't even want to hear what the fuck we were talking about. So he's just drinking his beer and watching the game. It was actually Sunday, and it was a football game on. He's just watching the game. He wasn't even paying attention to us, because he knows that we do that shit. Especially me and that one kid, we do it all the time. So he says, "This coming from a Mayweather fan." So then we get into Mayweather and Pacquiao. So now, I mean, now football is not my area of expertise, you know what I'm saying? But boxing, in comparison to this kid, boxing is my area of expertise. So I just start ripping this cat with facts, because he's a Pacquiao fan. So I'm just hitting him with all, you know, all the things that we talk about on a day-to-day basis as far as boxing goes. So all of a sudden, the Filipino kid, or the Asian kid across the bar, jumps out and he says something like, "Shut the fuck up, you don't know shit about boxing," whatever. So I turn around, you know, I swear to God, I turn around, I look at him. He's a smaller dude. I look at him, I put my head down, I smile, and I continue on my conversation. So now he's getting more loud, more agitated, and I'm hearing in the background, he's like doing everything I say. I hear psh, 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 you know, psh, he's fucking beatboxing in the background. Finally, I turn around. I'm like, well, what's your opinion on it? He jumps in and he starts calling me. He says, shut the fuck up. Because Filipino people, Manny Pacquiao's a man with pride, and you don't know shit. You fucking bitch, and blah blah. Saying anything. He just went crazy for like a 15-second verbal assault. Before I even had a chance to say something, my friend, the kid that I was arguing with, jumps out and says, yo, you need to chill out, dog. Like you need to chill the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So he says that. My other friend jumps up and shit. He stops watching the game. He's like, whoa, dog, you need, don't do it. So the kid immediately, looks at my friends and he's like, I'm sorry. He says to the one friend, I'm sorry. He says to the other friend, I'm sorry. And I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for him to do the same for me. He doesn't do it. So finally I look up and I say, yo, you missed somebody. And he's like, nah. And he just continues. And I said, yo, you missed somebody. You need to apologize to me. And he's like, I ain't apologizing to you. And I turn around and say, now we're completely across the bar. Like I'm sitting at a bar stool. There's the bartender. There's a divider in between that. There's the other side of the bar, and then there's where he's sitting. So I'm like, yo, you need to apologize to me. As soon as I get the word me out, he says, fuck you. Now, in a split second, I had two options. Either I go walk all the way across the bar, all the way around the bar to get at him, which I wouldn't have been able to do. Somebody would have broke it up by then. Or I had this napkin holder in front of me. It's like that big rectangular napkin holder, holds all the napkins and little straws in it and shit like that. So I'm like, yo, you need to fucking apologize to me. Fuck you. I grab the napkin holder, and I fucking launch that shit as hard as I can, yo. I launched it, and I'm saying to myself, like I was just throwing it in his general direction. I threw it hard as hell. I was throwing it in his general direction. I threw a perfect fucking strike at this kid's face, yo. I caught him right in the grill with that shit. Caught him hard as hell with that. And the fucking thing exploded. I mean, mind you, it was hard ass plastic. It exploded like it was Legos. So I mean, and I fucked him up pretty bad. I cut his lip, and it cut him, right up under his eye too. So he jumps up. I motion like, all right, let's go outside. We go outside. Bar owner comes out and he's like, yo, chill out. Like 10 minutes later, I'm still standing outside waiting to see if he's gonna come outside. Bar owner comes back out and he's like, yo, why don't you come back inside and shit. And they had already walked the kid and his friends through the back entrance or whatever, and that was pretty much it, man. That's my story when being a Pactard goes wrong, yo. I'm not trying to glorify myself or make myself out to be a tough guy, but I thought it was funny that he had a similar story to something that happened with me, and that's pretty much it, man.